Orange Sanguine, or Bloody Oranges, debuted at Cannes in 2021. It's a French black comedy, and after reading the description, I thought it would hit my sweet spot of savagery, humour and intelligence. Sadly, it's a bit patchy. The film is about largely middle-class characters with problems. It reminded me a lot of Happiness and Storytelling by Todd Solondz, but it's nowhere near as good as those. The plot is a series of sketches, a bit like the French film Les Infidèles for players, but that's a funnier film in my opinion. In Bloody Oranges, we have a pension-age couple who are heavily in debt and participate in a rock and roll dancing contest to win a grand prize. We also have another story about a young girl who visits a gynecologist and ends up picking up a few sex tips. Later on, she has wild sex. Much later on, she meets a rapist, and it goes into hard candy territory. I think everybody who's seen that film knows what I mean. We also have another plot about a government official who is the economic minister. He is investigated for tax evasion, and later on he's drugged and raped, and he meets a Patrick Bateman-style maniac who also keeps a pet pig. There's also a few other minor linked stories, like the panel reviewing the dance contest, who talk a lot about picking the perfect candidate to win the contest, while getting embroiled in politics. Bonus points for using big pens. Then there's conversations other characters have, which are about politics, social issues, and sex. These are all recurring themes throughout. I don't think the film is overtly political or making any grandiose social commentary, other than to quote Damon Albarn, "Modern life is rubbish." The film as a whole crosses genres, from horror to the point of using slasher movie style framing, like seen in something like Hostel or the aforementioned Hard Candy. There's also smatterings of dark comedy to the point of it almost being gross out humour, and social realist drama with naturalistic acting. It's an interesting mix. We always talk about visuals and sound on this channel. The camera work is handheld in a lot of places. This wouldn't have been rare 15 years ago, but in 2021 when this film came out, kinetic camera work is rarely seen outside the mockumentary and found footage genres. The film is brightly coloured and lit, but it's definitely not candy cinema, thankfully. It stands out as most films now have weird blue filters over them, 90s style, or are metallic and clinical looking. The use of music is notable, as it's often louder than everything else, Scorsese style. But it's the contrast of light-hearted music and black-hearted events that make it so interesting. Linda and the Funky Boys' Shame, 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 Come On Everybody by Eddie Cochran, Wonderful Life by Colin Vernacombe. Even the soundtrack has a sense of humour. Also suffers from the usual things a lot of films suffer from when they're translated into English, in that the subtitles have a few mistakes, such as Coulaire is translated as asshole and putain is translated as bastard. As anybody who knows French slang knows, these aren't direct translations, but it is sort of forgivable because they don't translate directly, and even the TV series Engrenage or Spiral suffered from the same thing. So let's draw this video to a conclusion. I wasn't that into the film to begin with, but after about 45 minutes it started to click. It is messy in a way that it links the stories together. It's definitely not something like Magnolia in terms of connecting the stories. I actually found it very funny in places, and if like me you enjoy your films a bit on the sick side, like those by Todd Solondz or Man Bites Dog or Woody Allen's Deconstructing Harry, it's definitely not as good as those films. I think you'll get a lot out of it if you like those films. And the film has really gone under the radar. It's been classified as 18 by the BBFC in the UK, but I think the only release has been on Amazon Prime. It possibly had a limited cinema run, but I mean, let's be honest, who saw it at the cinema when barely any cinemas were showing it? Virtually nobody. It's not as clever or as funny as it likes to think it is, but I think it is still very well acted, tightly scripted, and a provocative experience. It's certainly not the grand Guignol-esque experience that was made out. There's enough memorable scenes to make it worth watching. And if you like my stuff and you like your films a bit on the dark side, a bit on the weird side, and a bit on the obscure side, be sure to subscribe, share my stuff, or post a comment if you've seen this film. And as always, I try to post new stuff every week, so be sure to tune in for more great reviews.